Welcome to this review and unboxing of GoPro's 360-degree camera, Fusion. What you get in the box is pretty self-explanatory, so allow me to let my unboxing roll while I outline a couple of things. First up, this review focuses on video, as opposed to the camera's impressive 18-megapixel photographic performance, RAW files, night and night-lapse photo modes, 30 frames per second burst photography and more. GoPro referred to the video that Fusion captures as spherical. The idea is that you shoot everything and then select your preferred shots later. In reality, as you'll see, the real power of this camera rests in its ability to offer a means of manipulating your output in unusual ways. Using OverCapture, you can grab a 16:9 of just about any perspective from your 360-degree recording. But the joy of Fusion resides in the freeform wackiness that you get from just twiddling sliders in either the app, which I played with briefly on my iPad Pro, or Fusion Studio, which I installed on my Razer Blade Windows laptop, along with its Premiere Pro plugins. I will quickly mention the cover you get with the Fusion, as it's really important to protect the lenses. They can't be replaced, and you shouldn't rest the camera, like I did when I first got it, on a tabletop. The camera needs to live in its bespoke impact-resistant case. That is Fusion's large battery, roughly the size of two Hero 5 or 6 batteries, and in my testing, shooting mainly at 5.2K at 30 frames per second with GPS and Wi-Fi on, it lasted about an hour and 10 minutes. Now we come to the Fusion grip. That's just so elegant. It's reassuringly heavy. By far its coolest feature is that if used properly, it can be rendered almost invisible, as you'll see in some of my upcoming footage. It's rugged and has a satisfyingly non-slip rubbery texture. And as you can see, it cleverly converts between selfie stick and tripod. You can see from this perspective how the camera's two lenses are arranged. Frankly, my mind boggles at how Fusion's poetic synthesis of hardware and software is able to turn the output of these two lenses into a near-perfect 360-degree mesh. The process is recorded by a rather unorthodox double SD card setup, one for the front lens and one for the back lens. Quick side note, this is Unique Images Australia in Byron Bay, where I bought my Fusion. There's resident GoPro and drone guru Nigel. And this was shot using Fusion's time-lapse video mode. Fusion's spherical video comes in two resolutions, 5.2K at 30 or 25 frames per second, and 3K at 60 or 50 frames. Everything you're about to see was shot at 5.2K at 30 frames with a 1600 ISO limit, sacrificing silky smooth 60 frames for higher definition and an overcapture output of 1080p. Oh, and I turned on the voice control.
That's really interesting. I just started both the Fusion and the Hero 6, which is secured to my bodyboard with one voice command, which is really cool. I love that.
Let's start off by watching the same piece of Fusion footage shot on the beach, outputted in a number of different ways using Fusion Studio.
I can basically stand anywhere. I can stand here. I should be able to stand there. But if it works as advertised, I should be able to stand here.
Let's look at the same footage again, exported this time in OverCapture as 3 separate 1080p shots. And please note, all sound in this test is recorded by Fusion's 4 microphones.
I can stand here. I should be able to stand there. But if it works as advertised, I should be able to stand here.
And once again, using GoPro Fusion Studio, but this time outputted using the Little Planet preset.
And again, I'm mindful of the fact that I can basically stand anywhere. I can stand here. I should be able to stand there. But if it works as advertised, I should be able to stand here.
And once again, but I created this warping Little Planet effect within Premiere using the Fusion plugins. GoPro Fusion is waterproof to 5 meters, but water droplets on the lens are a problem that a lot of users have talked about.
So I've already got significant water droplets over both lenses, and I haven't even turned the camera on until I started talking to you.
In this clip, I don't think the water on the lens is a big deal. In fact, the droplets almost add a realism to the dramatic nature of the sequence. I've widened the output here, and the droplets are still fine, but the grip stick looks horrible. It took me a while to learn that the camera needs to be perfectly upright for the grip to disappear. This shot has a couple of issues. Part of the tripod is showing, and the water on the lens is just too much. On dry land now, above Dolphin Point in Noosa, Australia, and no issues with water droplets or a visible Fusion grip. A single 360 recording here with a simple pan motivated by me pointing. And this is the same piece of footage, but this time played backwards to the moment that I point. All created in Premiere's GoPro VR Fusion plugin. The possibilities really are endless. Many of the shots you're watching now are the result of me just randomly trying stuff within Premiere. In order to ram my point home, namely that Fusion offers a novel new grammar of shots and satisfying visual transitions, here is some footage I shot of Byron's world's first solar train. I used my Sony RX100 V for all these shots. Hello driver.
How are you?
Awesome.
That's good.
How does it feel to be powered by the sun?
Well, pretty warm actually. But apart from that, really good.
It's pretty standard stuff, but does boast 240 frames per second slow-mo, which obviously the Fusion can't match. But pointing the Fusion at the same subject produces some really interesting results, like a wide of the solar panels only revealed in post-production. And this bonkers little planet-style shot that moves from the outside to the inside of the train. And then there's this sequence, created from a single piece of footage and featuring every trick I could think of. So, in conclusion, Fusion is more than a lot of filmmakers are prepared to pay for a novelty action camera. And it is a novelty camera, meaning I'd rather shoot my stock shots on my Hero 6 than output them in 1080p via OverCapture. But when you film and edit regularly, something like Fusion is a breath of fresh air. I enjoyed playing with its output so much that I delivered this video late. Sorry about that. And while it's a serious piece of tech, the results you can get with it just make you smile. I can honestly say I haven't had as much fun with an edit for quite a while. So GoPro's Fusion is staying in my camera bag.